Welcome. My name is Joseph, and I wanted to take a few minutes to share with you how you can quickly get Jenkins running on CloudFormation. Okay, so in the first video, we covered how to get your AWS account ready to run Jenkins. Now in this second video, we'll talk about how to execute the CloudFormation scripts. Super simple, and just takes a couple of minutes.
Okay, the second phase of getting Jenkins going on AWS with CloudFormation is to actually set up our CloudFormation template. So the first step we do here is we search for CloudFormation in our services list. It comes in with a blank screen like this. So what we'll do is we'll click on Create Stack. We'll choose a file. So we're going to upload a file from our system. There's some other options. You can choose a sample template, or you can specify a S3 URL, but we're just going to choose template from our local computer. Basically, you're going to download the gist that I created, download it, just save it to somewhere on your computer. We'll name this something fancy, Jenkins. Okay, so I'll choose the default security group for our administrative access. We'll call it, say, builds dot and then our website. So remember in the previous segment we purchased a domain name SwiftOttertraining.com. We will use that so that we will be able to access Jenkins here at builds.swiftotter-training.com. I'm going to enter my email address because what happens is you will receive an email with the Jenkins default password. Obviously, we want to delete that and also change it at the same time. So we can choose our instance type. I have found that the t2.small seems to work very adequately, and it's pretty inexpensive to run. You're going to put in your IP address. So this makes sure that you can get access to this Jenkins instance whenever you need it. So put my IP address here. One thing to note is that we need to add a /32 on the end for a specific one. Otherwise, you can also specify IP address ranges. We're going to put in our SwiftOtter bucket, so our Jenkins training bucket here. So SwiftOtter-training-Jenkins. You can prefix the Jenkins backups with something, but since we're using a dedicated S3 bucket, I don't bother with that. I'm going to use our SSH key. All right, so last two is the subnets and the VPC ID. So for me, each one of these subnets, as I also mentioned previously, is tied to a specific segment of a region. So I'm using the US East region, US East 1, I believe. So I just actually select all these subnets to make it available. It's basically telling the load balancer which subnets to work with. And of course, we're going to set our VPC ID to be the default one. Okay. Click on next. You can put tags in here. I don't usually do this since I have a small enough account and I pretty much know what's going to what, so you don't have to do that. You can also specify an IAM role for the resources here. I don't bother with that. I let Jenkins, the builds this CloudFormation script, create it automatically because then it's going to be done right. We click on next, gives you a preview, and then we have to select I acknowledge that CloudFormation might create IAM resources. So IAM again is the kind of the access to your AWS account. So basically what this is saying is that this script will create some IAM resources. So it's never a good idea to run a script without actually looking it over, making sure that it's up to par security wise. So I do encourage you to, before clicking create, to make sure you've glanced through the gist, make sure it satisfies your security concerns. So then we're going to click create. We're going to sit back and relax. So it's going to take, I don't know, probably 5 to 10 minutes to set it up. And so go get a drink of water, whatever, and just sit back and relax. we are making progress now. So we have some information here. It's created the IAM access key, and it's created a IAM user. Mostly just everything related to IAM, except we've also Route 53. It's created the DNS record. You can refresh it whenever you want, get the latest information. It does automatically refresh sometimes as well, but this is a little bit faster way to do it sometimes to get the latest information. Now we see we have the create complete message here, which indicates that everything was stood up successfully. So as a result, let's go over and check it out. So we see that builds.swiftotter-training.com successfully loads up. I'll refresh the page. All right, so you should have an email in your inbox now with a more or less MD5 checksum, the default Jenkins password. I'm going to paste that in here. And we see that Jenkins is officially ready to go. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments below.